$2.60 is incoming. Probably, let me see, it's probably gonna happen by this week, guys, and it's gonna be, I'm thinking, your last chance to buy XRP relatively cheaply before we pump to new all-time highs. Okay, so get ready, do not sell, because I do believe another like higher is coming. Hello everyone, hope you guys are having an amazing day. XRP is around $2.89. For the short term, I do believe a pump will be imminent, but then they're probably going to take it back all the way down, guys. Okay, but I just want to say, maybe the future crypto system will actually be a pretty good place. Justin from Matcha Guru, SEC Chair Paul Atkins to create framework that, quote, future-proofs the crypto market against regulatory mischief, end quote. Maybe, just maybe, they should look into these exchanges that are manipulating prices to go down, right? Selling so it could be their extra liquidity. But manipulation isn't a bad thing after all, guys, because you know the exchanges manipulate prices downwards, but they also manipulate prices upwards, right? So it's like a double-edged sword here. But maybe these exchanges should be investigated, is my opinion. Another manipulation method has just been released, guys, but this is overall bullish in my humble opinion. From Brian Armstrong, great progress on Unisys perpetual futures. Listed Solana and XRP now available alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum. Oh, you don't say. So on August 18th, Coinbase Futures tweeted out, Unisys traders, are you ready? You can now access Solana and XRP perpetual style futures on Coinbase financial markets. Trade with no monthly expirations and access up to 5x leverage within a secure and regulated environment. 5x is pretty much nothing, but it's still something, guys, because now the XRP and Solana are going to be more volatile because this is on Coinbase. Okay, you guys know the big whales are there. Number two, what does this mean? Another tactic, another pathway has been opened up for them to manipulate XRP and Solana even heavier, though these coins are already manipulated, right? So they're just going to keep racking up the bonus points here, guys. But again, this is bullish because when that pump arrives, so much money will flood in like it's nothing. Okay, it's gonna get pretty insane. But I would say enough is enough. Enough is enough, right? If they weren't manipulating prices to go downwards, Bitcoin would be at $1 million by now, if not higher, to be fair. XRP definitely very high. XRP is the most manipulated asset on Earth, except perhaps silver. Now, from Chad, XRP staking is coming as well. From Gemini, the next era of rewards is preparing to launch. Right? So supposedly we're seeing a bunch of bullish news after bullish news after bullish news, but we keep dumping. That's just strange. News literally doesn't affect XRP. It actually does the opposite. Good news dumps it, right? So technically, but then if we see bad news, that dumps prices too, which means it's definitely manipulating, guys, for it to work that way until it isn't one day. Okay, but besides the point, they won't fool us. I know they're fooling everyone else, but since we're following what the riddlers are telling us, they're not going to fool us. Why? From professional observers. Now, guys, we're the fun part of XRP in the XRP community. Now, this is quite interesting from Baba Cugs. Imagine you didn't have riddlers right now. You would think your life is ruined. Instead, the believers know flip of the switch is real. While literally everyone else is in panic, watching other projects burn is fun. It's irrelevant to XRP holders, one giant leap overnight. Do you guys not see? The bear told us that XRP basically makes life more bearable, right? Because now retail, the average Joes have a vision, have a dream for it to be materialized, such as thinking about the future and it being full of prosperity. Okay, and it'll all come down to XRP making that dream come true. So Baba Cooks is saying, while you know, even if we do dump, it doesn't matter, because everyone else is in panic because no other community has the riddlers. You guys realize this, right? I'm not in any other community, by the way, so I wouldn't know how they feel without riddles and riddlers. It could be a good or bad thing, but the good thing about riddlers is that even though when we are dumping, in the back of our mind, we know that they will flip the switch up at some point in time, right? But others don't have that option, right? So if their project burns and dies, it just turns into dust. From the SEC commissioner, it's still a security if you're tokenizing a security. Most tokenized assets will be considered securities, not XRP. But I don't know about these other coins or other assets.
It's still a security if you're tokenizing a security. It may be a security with different characteristics, and that's something that needs to be conveyed to investors.
Yeah, definitely not XRP. XRP on law, on the damn paper, is stated to be not a security. Now these other coins, I don't know. So if they do burn and turn into ash, guys, let it be. It doesn't matter when the case ends. XRP moves on 9/22. You will see it's easy as 1, 2, 3. But how did Baba Cooks know? Right? For us, we stated what I know. Even though I don't know the moon dates of XRP, I do know that XRP will flip the switch after the collapse. That's my guide, guys. Right? The Riddlers told us that the reset will happen, which is a collapse. And then we'll know when they're going to flip the switch. Now somehow Baba Cooks knew from a long time ago, years ago, back in 2022. Even then he said when the case ends, nothing will happen. XRP, something will only move when it strikes 9/22, which is 13. Wow, insane, huh? Then he told us if you thought Luna's collapse was fast, buckle up. XRP will hit 0 in the blink of an eye. What is this? XRP will hit 0, but you know, people are suggesting down here, if it hits 0, I'm going to buy the whole supply. People are saying, right? Look at this, I'll buy the rest at 0. But check this out. Here's the catch. What if you can't buy if XRP hits 0? Well, obviously, it's gonna, if it hits 0 in actual reality, it's going to be most likely a wick. No, guaranteed a wick down to 0 and immediately fast up, and only a bot could catch it, or you need to have limit buy orders set beforehand at very cheap prices. Number 2 would be, what if exchanges are down and nothing works? Have you thought that idea? If there are blackouts, that's what we're saying, guys. So there's a lot of different theories here, but again, the easiest thing to do is not play the game. It's super easy, right? So this is XRP. We are dumping. What did I say? This level should hold it as support. We reached that level, guys. We just reached it. I think from here we will hopefully have a bounce. But even if we do have a bounce, guys, okay, it doesn't matter because I think they're still going to bring it back down, right? Because now the liquidity is forming. They're still going to bring it back down to probably test previous resistance, which will then turn into support, and that's going to be people's final time to buy. As Mr. Poole told everyone, August will be your final chance to buy and to use your paycheck to buy more XRP before probably this thing goes like that, right, to the all-time highs. So I truly am ready here, and yeah, let's see what happens, right? Do not panic. In the past 4 hours, XRP dropped 10 cents at a $10 billion market cap move. Only $18 million in net outflows on Upbit. You don't need much money to move it. You certainly don't. XRP on the hourly for liquidity, it is eating up the liquidity right now. Let's see. So there's a bit more liquidity. So come down maybe a tiny bit more, and then they'll probably pop it back up, and then all the way down. Look at all this liquidity that's forming on the downside, guys. But look at all this, right? That it's so thick at 340. So obviously we're gonna go up there. It seems like they're gonna go for the downside liquidity first, and then they're going to reverse it. Okay. From CoinSkid, he says buy zone trigger warning. Okay, buy warning. So we're getting closer and closer to going all in. I mean, you should have been all in, right? Because I do believe the next leg higher is coming, not financial advice. Looks like September 1st from Big Short, we might be there. September 1st, we might be there. Last chance to buy in August. Where is the bear? Here. Wow. So they're behind the accounts, guys. Right? We might be there. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is September makes the most sense for everything to explode because of the beautiful catalysts on the horizon, such as the Fed rate cuts and then the country's event. to be stopped and to be concluded. Now, the founder of the economy, the ripple effect, this is why Ripple's chosen. They tell you right in plain sight.
Working with Ripple has been amazing because Ripple built the infrastructure in order to be as compliant as possible, build the connections and relationships around the world with 70 different countries where they service the payment, the instant payment and instant settlement. And with their technology, we're able to actually support the ability to do both delivery and payment when it comes to invoices and payment of invoices, etc.
How come all their clients are extremely happy and they say beautiful things about XRP and Ripple? I don't think I've ever heard one of them talk bad about XRP or Ripple. Never. Or the XRP ledger. Why? Right? Because there's no cons here.
Which gives us also the ability to do instant reconciliation of those transactions. So no one can dispute that they didn't get paid on time, they didn't get paid in the correct way. Another thing that basically Ripple supported with what we're doing is the ability for, let's say, suppliers to get paid in their own currency versus being dictated to by the large enterprise to pay them only in dollars or euros or Japanese yen for that matter. So we're working with enterprises, so corporations with basically treasuries that have.
So I'll leave the rest in the description below, guys. But again, fantastic news. Fundamentally, nothing has changed. Only prices going down because due to exchanges manipulating the assets. Right? That's why we need regulations. Probably will happen in due time after the collapse, I think. Wisdom Tree calls XRP the tactical onshore play for institutional portfolios. XRP equal documented as a top focus for sophisticated investors. Institutional alpha in crypto. And it says here that XRP is the tactical onshore play with CME listed XRP futures now live. Again, another manipulation tactic, but more volatile moves as well. Volatility added. Institutional traders can tap into basis opportunities without touching offshore venues. Fully onshore access makes XRP a viable instrument for tactical basis yield harvesting, particularly in fast-moving market regimes. They just love XRP. They definitely do. Then Gemini comes into play, partners with Ripple and IPO. Gemini's IPO filing reveals a $75 million credit deal with Ripple, borrowable in $5 million chunks, and expandable to 150 mil, with some of it even in RLUSD. Can Ripple save them? There it is, right? Huge step for not only XRP, the XRPL ecosystem, but also most definitely RLUSD. RLUSD on XRPL is only becoming more integrated into traditional financial rails, from its usage as good collateral to cross-border settlements, and now for the first time as IPO proceeds payment. Even before the Genius Act passed, RLUSD was repeatedly considered both across crypto and TradFi as the gold standard in compliance. And now the floodgates are opening. There it is. I told you guys, RLUSD will surpass Tether USDT probably after the collapse, when all that money will fade away. You'll have to go somewhere, right? Unless it's fully faked, right? Tether, that is. But the rest will the rest of the money that's in Tether USDT will flow into XRP or RLUSD, because if it's legit. Right. So there's just so much happening, guys. Again, Mr. Pool called on 818 bloody, and look what happened, right? Here's another one, 819, all blood. Exactly. We know the game plan. Do not be fooled here. Not financial advice. But it was so amazing. See ya.